So these potentially disturbing allegations about Capitol Police activities and the great unmasking that is happening or about to in blue states across the country. Plenty to debate with tonight's Bream Team panel. Spring and Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and Jason Chafe. It's great to see you both.
Hi, Shannon.
Okay, so Sean Davis over at the Federalist, he's referring to what they've heard so far about potentially the U.S. Capitol Police, who do an amazing job protecting the men and women who are serving this country. We appreciate them doing that. But there are allegations that they're doing something beyond that. And Sean writes this. He says, the Inspector General opens an investigation into U.S. Capitol Police following allegations of spying on members of Congress and staff. The opening of the investigation follows news reports and accusations from lawmakers that USCP has overstepped its bounds as it tries to recover from the January 6th riots that tarnished both the Capitol and the reputation of the law enforcement agency that was supposed to keep it safe. What do you make of this, Jason?
It's a very serious allegation. I'm glad the Inspector General, who is the right person to actually conduct this investigation, gets to the bottom of this. I hope the congressman has some evidence of it. Capitol Police, I've had a good experience with them. I think there are definitely some flaws in what they do. But given the serious nature of this allegation, remember, the Capitol Hill Police reports up and through the Speaker of the House. And unless there's probable cause, unless they actually had some reason to do this, it better not be some political shenanigans. But again, I think the evidence needs to be put forth because the allegation is very serious.
Well, and Leslie, some of the reporting out of Politico was that U.S. Capitol Police had gone into a member's office. People weren't there. They opened the door. They looked. They took a picture of some things that were on a whiteboard, which turned out to be some legislative things that his office was working on. He said nothing to hide there. But they sent people back to question staffers, and it was kind of confusing and a little overwhelming for them to feel like the people protecting them were also somehow investigating them. Do you think it's just a matter of crossed wires? Would you like to see a better explanation?
Well, the explanation that I'm hearing so far is actually satisfactory for me, Shannon. What I'm hearing from Capitol Police, what they've been saying is they didn't open the door, that the door was open. They were concerned when they saw a layout of that building and body armor. There was an explanation by the legislator and that legislator's staff. But this is the Capitol Police's job. This is not surveillance. This is protection. Protection of the building, protection of the members. Let's keep in mind, since January 6th, Capitol Police have been demonized, especially by many on the right who claim to be pro-police. And I think they're just doing their due diligence to keep every single person in that building safe. And I'm sure they don't care whether that person's a Democrat or Republican. They just want to make sure everybody is safe on their watch because that's their job.
Okay, let's turn to COVID. You saw there that Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister up in Canada, is continuing to say, hey, these truckers are driving us crazy. They're hurting the economy. They're scaring people. They're making things really inconvenient. So I want to ask you, and this is a little quiz for you if you know, who said this? The whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. Activists that take discomfort with the status quo and advocate for concrete policy changes. Popular support often starts small and grows. To folks who complain that protest demands make others uncomfortable, that's the point. Either of you want to venture a guess on that?
I'm assuming it's going to be Justin Trudeau because that's who we're talking about.
It is not, but it is a member of Congress. This was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez back in December 2020 after a year where we saw a lot of demonstrations and unrest. So, Jason, what about that? The left likes protests when it lines up, I guess, with their worldview.
Yeah, what Justin Trudeau is not doing is listening to his constituents. He's forgetting the very basic fact that he reports to the people of Canada, and truckers play an important role. They're a great part of the economy. And I'm telling you, if he thinks politically, he can go out and blame truckers for everything. He's got another thing coming. I think that truckers are doing the right thing. They have a voice in this. What they're doing in Canada, I think is personally, as an American, I think it's wrong. But I think what the government is doing is wrong, but I think what the truckers are doing is right. And I like the fact that they're doing it. They're doing it peacefully. They're making a true point. And Justin Trudeau would do much better if he'd actually sit down and listen and maybe implement some of the things that the truckers are asking for.
It doesn't seem like the two sides are getting to the table, but the truckers say they're not going to leave until they can maybe have a conversation. I also want to give you this update. We've talked a lot about Stacey Abrams in the picture this week of her unmasked while she's at a school and with all the kids masked, the teachers masked, that kind of thing. And she spoke out on this tonight and gave an apology. Here's what she said.
I took a picture, and that was a mistake. Protocols matter, and protecting our kids is the most important thing, and anything that can be perceived as undermining that is a mistake, and I apologize. So yes, mandates make sense when you're trying to ask a teacher to protect an entire classroom.
Leslie, why do Democrats keep getting caught with their masks off, although she apologized?
I think we've had a few, like 3, that we like to emphasize, including my governor, Gavin Newsom. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. A true leader needs to lead by example, and adults need to lead by example. So if we're telling our children to wear masks, we need to see the teachers, the administrators, guest speakers such as Stacey Abrams. I think she did the right thing. She admitted she was wrong and apologized. Another lesson that we should be, I know I teach my children to do. This, and it's not just Democrats, by the way. When you say that, want to keep these masks on, we've seen 2 Democratic governors change their mask mandates. New Jersey, and coming up this month in my state of California, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, and Jason, quick final word to you. What do you make of all these blue states that, like, within 48 hours have said, okay, masks are going away? We've got New York, New Jersey, we've got Delaware, we've got California, and I know I'm forgetting some, but it was quite a broad array at the same time.
Well, the science didn't change. The poll numbers changed, and I think they're trying to figure that out. I think what Stacey Abrams did was just wrong. It wasn't an accident. There were multiple pictures of her not wearing a mask. It wasn't just for a photo or anything like this. But boy, you can line up the number of Democrats who preach one thing and do another, and the voters understand that.
All right, Jason and Leslie, great to see you as always. Come back soon.
Thank you.
Shannon.